does a business that started before the internet, how does that kind of business adapt and evolve in order to reach its next stage of growth in the digital economy, in a world where every industry is being transformed by these successive waves of new technologies and how they change our markets? Right? Now, I just want to point out this is a related but somewhat different question than how do you build a new startup, right? How do you create the next Uber, right? How do you build the first blockchain unicorn company? That's what everyone wants to do right now. How do you look at the market, identify customer needs, look at new technologies, and come up with an idea to build a business from scratch is a different challenge than how do you take an existing business that already has employees and distribution channels and partnerships and a brand reputation and assets and ways of doing business, and how do you actually change, how do you adapt that business? Brings in a lot of additional and different unique challenges around organizational change. And that really is at the heart of digital transformation. And if I were to boil the entire book down into one slide for you, this is the slide it would be. Digital transformation is not about the technology. Right? We often get hung up, we think that this is fundamentally a technological problem, and it isn't. Technology is why we have to change, or more importantly, how technology is being used by the market and how it's changing our lives. And of course, technology will be part of the implementation, the execution of any new strategy we develop. Right? But the hard part, the key to digital transformation is not your technology choices. It's actually learning to think differently about your own business, to rethink your industry and what its potential and what its future will look like. And this is hard because companies are like people. Right? Neuroscientists have taught us that when babies are born, each of us, when we're a child, we have very flexible neurons in our brain. They're constantly rewiring themselves every day. But as we grow up, we establish neural pathways in our brains. These allow us to learn languages, recognize faces, read people's emotions, develop intuition, all sorts of wonderful things. But they also, over time, as we develop more fixed pathways in our brains, they can allow us to be blinded to what is around us if they don't fit our past experience and assumptions. Right? The exact same thing happens with businesses. And so if you have a company that grew to scale in a different environment, in the pre-digital era, right? The biggest challenge of digital transformation is they don't even recognize the habits and the assumptions that they are operating by. They are acting out of habit, a view of the world and what their industry is and who their competitors are and what business they are in and what they should be selling that may be outdated because the assumptions have changed and they don't even recognize it.